Hello viewers, it's Evans Racing here and welcome back to another F1 2022 mod career as Kevin Magnussen in the Formula 1 Haas car, where this is the last round of this season and it is around Abu Dhabi. So without anything else to do, let's jump straight into qualifying. And then we come onto our outlap now, where we're warming up the tyres, and now we're going to come through the last corner on the power as early as we can across the line. We want to speed things up because it's just our first sort of banker lap. Coming through this little chicane bit, now coming into the hairpin, sort of missing the apex. Coming down here, DRS opens. Flat down, all the way on this long straight, into this little chicane bit. DRS open again, on this long straight. Braking heavy, hitting all the apexes. Now I'm coming through the triple left-hander, right-hander I mean, into double left-hander, and then into a double right-hander, into the last corner. Sorry, as early as you can, across the line for 1 minute 38.8. And now we come on to our second and final qualifying lap of the session. Braking about 50 meters into the first corner, using all the cover on the inside and on the outside, using a bit on the inside again here. Not really much on the inside here as we get a bit of understeer. We're up by almost 3 tenths right there. Now into this little chicane bit here in second gear, up into third to minimise traction. I mean wheel spin. Coming out the hairpin, accelerating as early as we can. Flat all the way, foot all the way down, DRS opens, and we're now up by 8 thousandths of a second. Braking about 100 meters, coming into this corner, just hitting the apex, and the same thing for here. Using a little bit, not much of the curve on the outside. DRS opens, flat down. Braking heavy about the 100 meters. Now into a right-hander, into left-hander. Using all the cover on the inside and on the outside. Again using all of it on the inside and outside. And now into a triple right-hander. Braking heavy, keeping it just within the track limits, hitting the apex, using all the cover on the inside and the outside, just missing the wall on the outside there. Now coming into double right hander, we do cut the corner a little bit there, but the stewards don't see anything. Now into the last corner, accelerating as early as we can, and we go across the line for 1 minute 38.1. So this is today's starting grid for today's race. It's Max Verstappen who gets pole position, Charles Leclerc alongside, then it's Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz, Russell Alonso, Gasly, Lewis Hamilton, our teammate Mick Schumacher in P9, Lando Norris, Valtteri Bottas, Zhou Guanyu, Ocon, ourselves, Kevin Magnussen in P14, Yuki Tsunoda, Daniel Ricciardo, Alexander Albon, Lance Stroll, Vettel, and in last place once again is Nicholas Latifi. So this is our strategy for today. We'll be starting on the soft compound tyre and we'll be pitting around lap 6 and we'll be switching to the medium compound tyre. We're also going to take some fuel at the car, some fuel out of the car to make our car as light as possible for today's race. And now we go to the 5 red lights. And off we go for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's Max Verstappen who gets off to a great start. Sergio Perez also gets off to a great start. And he overtakes Sergio Perez. We go down the inside of both Alfa Romeos. and we go up into P11 now. Now we're chasing after Lando Norris, with Zhou Guanyu trying to make a move on us, but we look for a move on Lando Norris, doesn't quite work out, so we decide to back out of that. But we're gonna dive bomb Lando Norris, almost hitting our teammate, but we're gonna use the racing line to our advantage, push Lando Norris out wide, and we go up into P10 now. So it's a great start from us. And now we look behind us where Lando Norris and the two Alfa Romeos are 3 wide now. And it's Valtteri Bottas, no, it's Zhou Guanyu who comes out on top. But Valtteri Bottas overtakes Lando Norris, but then he wants to try and overtake his teammate. Obviously there's no DRS yet because it's only the first lap. But the both Alfa Romeos are both side by side at this moment of time. Who will be more braver on the brakes? And it's Zhou Guanyu who stays in P11, does he? Yes. He uses the curb on the inside there, and he stays in P11 ahead of his teammate. And now we're chasing after our teammate Mick Schumacher now to see if we can make a move within the next few laps. Now coming into the last corner as Max Verstappen sets the new fastest lap of today's race so far. And as you can see, Valtteri Bottas comes into the pit lane now. So he must have got damaged when fighting with his teammates. That's Valtteri Bottas into the pit lane already at the end of lap 1. And now we are virtually touching our teammate's gearbox almost. And now we're going to have foot all the way down, ERS being deployed. We've got 60% left. Still no DRS yet because it won't get enabled until lap 3. So we're going to have to use, this is all about raw horsepower and aerodynamics. Now coming into this corner now, into second gear, into third gear to minimise wheel spin and to lose the rear end. Using some more ERS now, gaining on our teammate. We're going to go down the inside and we switch to the outside now. We're going to brake much more later than our teammate. We're going to go right around the outside. Now we'll have the inside line and we move up into P9, and it's a nice easy overtake for against our teammate, who certainly did not make it easy for us, but it turned out to be as easier than I thought. And now we switch over to lap 4 now, where Lewis Hamilton is going to dive it down the inside of Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, sorry. He's going to stick it around the outside now, where I have DRS. Who will have DRS? And it's Alonso who gets DRS. So that's Alonso up into P7, is it? No, Hamilton isn't having any of it. Hamilton goes down the inside. We now have the inside line again. And that's Hamilton up into P7. And now we jump back to our onboard now, where we have caught up to Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton as they have been fighting. As now we're going to try and make a move on Fernando Alonso into the second last corner. We're going to dive it on the inside, use all the curve on the inside, and we go up into P8 now. So it's a great move by us. But either way, Fernando Alonso comes into the pit lane to fit on some new set of tyres. So yeah, he might have got some damage from Lewis Hamilton, I'm not sure, but he's in the pit lane. And now we switch over to lap 5 now, where we're coming onto the second straight, onto the third straight, I think this would be. Where our teammate Mick Schumacher is going to go right around the outside with DRS. And it's a really easy move from our teammate on us. So that's Schumacher back up into P8. We do cut the corner a little bit there, but the stewards don't see anything and we don't get a warning for it. So we get quite lucky there. Now we come on to lap 6 now, where Zhou Guanyu is got DRS on us and he fly passes us, and we're not close enough to break it later than him and put up a fight. So that's a nice easy move for Zhou Guanyu. But we're going to have DRS on him, but we haven't got any ERS to play with. We don't have a lot of ERS to play with, and we just can't gain as much time as we want. So we are still in P9. but we will definitely be trying to catch up to Zhou Guanyu if possible. We go quite wide here, which compromises our line for the next 2 corners now. Accelerating them out, using a little bit of ERS to try and catch up with Zhou Guanyu. We now come into the pit lane now, into this shot right hander for the pit lane, almost making contact with his gearbox in front, as we do lock up the tyres coming into the pit lane so we don't speed and get a 5-second penalty for it. We come into our pit box now. Another really slow pit stop from the Haas pit crew with a 3.1 second, which means we've lost a lot of time to Zhou Guanyu just within the pit lane. Our pit crew is not the best, I do have to say. Either way, we come out of the pit lane, we crossed the right line. I don't know why we did that, but we only got a warning for that, luckily, so we carry on. Now coming into the hairpin now, just missing the apex. And now we switch over to lap 7 now, where Carlos Sainz has got DRS on Alex Albon, and he's going to fly past him like it's not even there. And that's Carlos Sainz up into P7, and Alex and Albon down to P9. And now on to lap 8 now, we look at Sergio Perez coming out of the hairpin now, accelerating as early as he can. He's now pulling over to the side. Has he got an engine failure? Yes, he has. There's smoke coming out of the rear end of his car, and he's going quite slow now. And that's Sergio Perez out of the race. And he's going to pull over to the right hand side, and that's Sergio Perez out of the race with a mechanical failure. And now we switch over to the next lap now, lap 9, where Lando Norris is going to stick it around the outside, and it's a nice safety move for Lando Norris on Fernando Alonso using that DRS. So that's Lando Norris up into P9.
Okay, gap ahead is...
Now we go to our onboard now, where we're coming through the first corner of lap 10, seeing if we can catch up to Zhou Guanyu. There's a time gap of 2 seconds now. Now we come into these 2 tight corners, now coming up to the hairpin now.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Now we switch over to Zhou Guanyu, who's flying past our teammate. He's got so much extra speed than our teammate then, and that's Zhou Guanyu up into P6 and our teammate down to P7. And now we are now chasing down our teammate to a gap of 2.3 seconds. Accelerating out as much as we can. Now coming on to lap 13 now. So we've got 2 more laps left. We come through the first corner, going a bit wide here, using all the cover on the outside. Just a little bit on the inside, and on the inside here, coming out wide, braking heavy into these corners, into second gear now, into third gear, coming into the hairpin, knock it down into first gear to get that wheel rotation, coming out of the corner now, using the ERS being deployed. Lando Norris has got DRS on us, and he's gaining and gaining on us as we look back. And he's going to stick it around the outside, but we're going to brake much more later than him. And we're going to push him out wide, use the racing line to our advantage. And that compromises him. And that's Fernando Alonso, he takes advantage of that. And he goes around the outside of Lando Norris. So that's Fernando Alonso up into P9 and Lando Norris down to P10. When he tried to overtake us for P8. So some really good defending from us, which compromises Lando Norris, which meant that Fernando Alonso took advantage of that and went up a place. Now coming up into the double right-hander now. Now into the sharp right-hander. Loose on the rear end quite a bit there. Now coming through the last two corners. Using all the curb on the inside, a little bit on the outside. Now coming through the last corner using all the curb on the inside. And we go a bit wide on the outside. Don't get exceed track limits warning there, luckily. So we take it. Coming through the first corner now, this is our final lap now of the race. And as you can see, we're not catching up to our teammate because he is 7.5 seconds in front of us, which is quite a big gap. We go quite deep into that first bit of the corner. Fernando Alonso tries to make a move on us, but we keep it in front of him. Accelerating flat down as early as we can, using all of our ERS now. Coming to the left hand side to try and break the toe so that Fernando Alonso can't catch up to us as quickly. He's going to go around the outside. We're going to break much more later. We're going to push him out wide, and then we're going to go up into. And now we switch over to Max Verstappen, who's coming through the last couple of corners, and he's now coming into the last corner now. He's going to accelerate as early as he can, and he's going to come across the line, and it's Max Verstappen who wins the race. And then we look behind where Carlos Sainz is coming through the last corner, and he comes across the line for P2. And now we switch over to George Russell, who's coming through the last corner now. He's going to accelerate as early as he can, and he comes across the line, and that's P3 for George Russell, which sees our podium finishes for today's race. Now we come out to here where Fernando Alonso trying to make a move on us, but we block him from doing so. Now we come into this left-hander, we completely miss the apex, but we're going to get the pad down as early as we can. We're coming into the double right-hander now, triple right-hander. And Fernando Alonso is going to go around the outside. We look up and we go quite wide, which leaves us vulnerable, and the two Alpine drivers make contact, and Lando Norris makes the most of it, and he goes up into P9. So us looking up has compromises Fernando Alonso going around the outside. Norris slips through, and then the two Alpine drivers make contact. And now we come through. The last corner we go across the line, and we come through for P8 of the race. So that was a crazy last lap right there. Lots of overtaking, lots of things going on. And it's Joe Gunyu who gets driver of the day.
Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
So it's Max Verstappen who wins the race. It's Carlos Sainz in P2, and it is George Russell in P3, which sees our podium finishes for today's race. Now we look at the driver standings where Max Verstappen has won the world. He is now the world champion for the second time in a row. Carlos Sainz in comes in second place with 311 points, and it's Charles Leclerc who comes in P3 with 291 points, which sees the top three for this season. Further down, we see ourselves get overtaken by Lewis Hamilton by 6 points, and we see ourselves with 158 points, 6 points behind Lewis Hamilton, who overtakes us on the last race, on the last round of this season. Further down, we see our teammate make some places. He goes up into P11 once again, and he gets P11 with 31 points. And now we look at the Constructors' standings where Red Bull have won the Constructors' World Championship. Ferrari come in second place, Mercedes come comfortably in P3, and we come comfortably in P4. And the Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri both overtake the Alpines on the last round for the 2022 season. So if you have enjoyed it, please do give it a like. Please do subscribe down below for more racing based content. And next week, when the new game comes out, I will definitely be making a new career mode series. It will either be a My Team career mode or a driver career mode. Comment down below what you would like to see. And I'll see you guys in the next F1 game for F1 2022.